Hello, greetings, and welcome back to Buffalo Fireside Chats. How you guys doing? What is going on? And yes, today we have a meeting of the minds. A lot of great guests today. So I don't want to hold anything up. I want to get right into the conversation. Today we have Stocks Wizards. Oh, Stocks Wizard. There's only one, by the way. Only one Stocks Wizard. JRC Stocks and Schito. Three great minds, three great traders. Let's just go for it. Let's bring these guys in. Well, he just popped in there. The wizard just popped in. Welcome to the BFC, guys. How you doing?
Hey, great to be here. Good to see you, Eric. Hey, guys.
Hey, guys.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
You know, I gotta say, Wizard, every time I watch one of your YouTube videos, this is what sort of comes to mind. And
yeah, that's my dad. That's Pop.
Well, it's like that's what happens every time a chart hits resistance. That's it.
I love it. I love it.
So guys, a meeting of the minds. I want to get your take on some topics. This is an open chat session. So guys, put your questions for any of these guys in the chat, and we're just gonna get right forward. So what have you guys been doing now? Stocks, I know you've been on the scene for a while, and but JRC, you've pretty much relaunched JRC StockTalk. So tell us a little bit about your relaunch.
In short, you got to grow in small, manageable chunks. And I mean, I've been around public companies since 2001. I've been pitching stock for a long time, but I don't want to be a promoter. I just now I understand the questions that companies need to be asked, the hard stuff they need to address in order for an investor to feel comfortable with them. And I started out with spaces, and they went really well. I was seeing a few thousand people show up to a few spaces, and the next thing is live stream, and I'll keep on expanding from there on the number of platforms that I go to.
I think it's excellent. I think you've made a lot of headway, and you've had some great guests on. Actually, I think every one of us has had on IDKFF, if I'm correct.
If we were smart.
And that was an interesting investment. By the way, Josh, you're even lucky I asked you on the show with that shirt.
Wait, what's wrong with this shirt? The dolphin?
And you know what? When I saw that backstage, and I'm like, that's why I left. I went to go get my Bills hat, and I have no idea where I put my Bills hat. I go, get this guy out of here right now. I think it's going to be a good year for you guys. I do.
Yeah.
I think you're in for a treat.
If you can figure out how to work your wide receivers, you might have a chance, because I don't know. They kept Josh, but they got rid of all the wide receivers, and now your room's kind of having a rough time.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I actually live right around the corner from like literally a straight mile from the stadium, so it's very exciting. It's very eventful, and we always have the sirens going after. We have this sort of game. All right, we just pick a time. Like, all right, how long into the game are we going to hear sirens or mercy flight flying in because somebody ran in front of a bus or drank themselves stupid? And it's pretty funny. Well, it's sort of funny. But sometimes that starts happening like even before the game starts. So they go Bills, as we call it. They go Bills.
Can you hear the audience from that far away? Can you hear the people?
Not the people. I do hear the announcements, and I can hear, like, whenever there's a rock concert at the venue, yeah. I can hear it all. Pretty cool. Free tickets.
There was a Dolphins fan. I was told not to go there because they hate us.
No, we're pretty civil for the most part. It's just, as long as nobody's drinking. Never mind. Forget about that. Don't come to Buffalo.
I'm in Syracuse. I'm only an hour and a half, 2 hours away.
You're really okay. So you're around the corner. So then we have to go to a game together. It's going to happen.
Okay.
All right. We're going to go to the Bills Dolphins game. All right. I'm setting that up. It's going to be a fun time.
Man, I'm in.
That'll be a good time.
That'd be great.
Schito.
We'll both be going for the same team. Going for opposite teams is going to make it the best event. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We'll do it. Now, Schito, why don't you introduce yourself to the BFC audience? You're a newbie here. Actually, you guys all are, but not sure if anybody knows who you are, if they follow you on Twitter. So share your info, sir.
Yeah, I'm Schito. I'm actually in Europe. I'm from Europe, and I'm an OTC trader for a living, actually, since 2009 straight now. I did OTC before that, but I had another job. So it was more like, initially it was more a hobby, like where I spent a lot of time the first couple of years. And since 2009, I do it for a living. Last couple of years, obviously, were tough. Since we had that really good run, 20 and 21, it's gotten tougher. And but I'm still at it, and I hope it's getting better again. Overall the market.
Yeah, well, volume's been an issue. I mean, I know we talked privately about this separately, but what is you give me your take, guys? Just open roundtable. The volume is just it sucks overall. Let's be real. I'm just gonna say
You know
it the
what
way
the
it is.
volume was before COVID on the OTC market, basically daily? 60
Huge.
to 70 billion shares a day. We have been running at 4 to 5 billion shares on a good day for the last 2 years. We have been running on nothing. We're running on fumes right now. So the volume is hard. And I think that's what hurts the OTC is strictly the volume. It's not that anything down here has changed except that it's a buyer's market now. I mean, everything from cannabis, from EVs to lithium mining, which I think is probably going to fall away, sad to say. I think it's a lot of opportunity waiting. And I do believe, and this is just me speaking, if cannabis gets passed here this year, it was supposed to be 60 days after Biden made his announcement. DEA needs time with the information. They kicked on another few more months. If we can get cannabis passed, there are hundreds of cannabis companies on the OTC. You get hundreds of cannabis companies running at the same time, you have primed the OTC market. We'll be able to pull more investors back in. We'll get the volume back up, which will pull more investors back in. And hopefully that will be the launch, because we need something. Waiting for the economy to change isn't going to be fast enough for our market.
Yeah.
Just an overview. I've been looking at daily. I know Schito does as well, looking at the market activity on OTC markets. And rather than the number of shares, because that doesn't reflect the amount of money flowing through, I look at the dollar volume. And you can scroll through the list of advancers or decliners and look at the dollar volume going in, and you'll find maybe a handful that are doing more than $10,000 in volume of trading in a day. And it's sad. And the ones that are, I've seen that it's not like an algorithmic thing or it's so impromptu, but some maybe 2 or 3 OTC stocks will do over 100 grand in volume in the day, and there's no rhyme or reason of which one. It's almost like they look for a certain stock setup or a certain stock structure, and they say, okay, let's hit this one today, boys, because like half the time there's no news, there's no catalyst, and they're just running the heck out of it, and then you see them start posting after they start running it and selling into the other people buying in. It's challenging. It seems like small traders group are hunting and pecking what they go after.
Yeah, and in regards to the volume, it's really important. If someone looks at the dollar volume, and I see this sometimes on Twitter, we had a good day, we had more dollar volume, but if you look closely, it's absolutely important because otherwise it's misleading. If you look at the dollar volume leaders every single day in the OTC, like the first 90 out of the first 100 is not the OTC we trade. It's not our OTC. It's foreign stocks. It's dual listed stocks. It's big corporation that have a dual listing. It's QX stocks for the most part. A lot of foreign stuff. So sometimes it looks okay, the dollar figure, but it's not our market. It's not what we talk about on Twitter, what we talk about in Spaces, and it's even worse for us.
Yeah, and that's we talk about the dollar volume, and people think it was just during a surge of COVID. You know what I mean? Like, oh, everybody's getting free money, and no, there was more volume, factually speaking, before all that, and so that's concerning, and especially when you Josh, I think you nailed it when you're talking about, oh yeah, they just want to run one up one day. It's like they do move in masses. And let's be real, by the time you hear about it, it's too late. You will get bagged.
Well, that's what day traders do. You're watching for the lily pad to come by, and there's only so many lily pads you can reach.
That's it.
And we're all jumping for the same lily pads because we're day traders. We're looking to take a gain today, move on to the next stock tomorrow. I got no problem with long holds. I got no problem with swing plays. But in this market, I need to get what I can get, because after every strange run is a guaranteed fall. People aren't holding their value. So why hang with a stock? Get in for every bounce. I'm sorry, but that's what day traders need to do.
Yeah. So IGPK is not going to $10, you're saying?
Okay.
Got it.
I mean,
I don't know. On the last, on the interview that you did, which I was excited that you went to the extent of getting an interpreter. I worked with an IR firm that only handled Chinese publicly traded companies here in the States, and it was a pain in the ass. No offense to any Chinese company, but God bless them. I don't want to work with them. You got an interpreter and went that hard route. And I was like, wow, that's cool. And at the end, he's like, I'm going to put more shares in the market. I was like, oh. What are you saying?
And it's weird.
Nobody's gonna buy the stock.
and how it came off, and that's why I had to like I did have a structural interview set up, and I'm like, okay, because honestly, out of all the interviews I've done, that was the most. And I got to give a shout out to Discord member, Hey It's Me Brian.
Brian Rocks.
Yes, yeah, and he's paid that $600 for that translator. Long Bully Stick facilitated that translator. And it was one of the coolest things. And you could tell, and that translator, his English was great. He was based in China, which was so cool. And it was it was surreal. We had 1,000+ people watching because it's been a hot stock. I mean, it was a surprise reverse merger. It's a stock I was banging on at 0007. No, just toot my own horn a little bit. But I mean, the truth is like getting this connect with somebody from all the way across the world was truly remarkable. We talked backstage, and it was just nice. He seems like a very nice guy, and some people have told me, okay, $1 billion are going to go straight to NASDAQ. I'm willing to see how this plays out. I've already made a lot of money on that play. Very lucky to have that happen, but I want to see how it plays out. I want to see what that amended filing brings. So if any of you guys are watching that are in IGPK, I think it's pivotal that we do see a significant increase on that amended filing. John, I know you wanted to pull up your chart. Rob, if you could pull up Rob's screen share.
Well, we were talking there about dollars on the OTC market. And I don't know if anyone's aware, but the OTCmarkets.com website has got that information easily accessed. You come over here to their current market page, and it'll bring you to the most active. And whether you're looking for advancers or decliners, if you're a shorter, they've got a page here for you too. But I always
get to click on all, because otherwise you won't see the real penny stocks.
Right. Yeah, they've got 3 choices here: over $1, over a nickel, or all. This one is just advancers, and it's just going to show you the biggest gains of the day with all the information. But what I really like about this, I can't find this information anywhere else. And I consider this a day trader's piece of information that's gold. How many trades is the company doing now? You may see volume, but that doesn't tell you the story. Did 2 people put all that volume up there, or did 100 people put all that volume up there? It makes a bloody difference. The more people, the more price activity you're going to get, the more chance you have of getting that price to run. And right here in this column, it will tell you how many. And I look for those that have triple digits. We used to have lots of triple digits, used to have quadruple digits, stocks doing thousands of trades a day. That's pretty rare now. If you can find stocks that are doing hundreds of trades a day, that is APGTQ at 25 cents. This is every single stock on the entire OTC market. At a quick glance, you can get up here how many shares we did that day, the dollar volume for the entire market. And this does reflect the volume. We were at much stronger dollar volumes. You got to divide that into those. And as you were saying earlier, there's a lot of stocks that don't get any portion of this money. None. There are lots of stocks starving right now. So this is one of my favorite pages. And as you were saying, if you come over there to the most active page, right here at the top, you can get your dollar volume, and it will allow you to see which stocks you're getting. And it is a lot of your gray stocks, your Ethereums, your Bitcoin grays up there in the QX. There are stocks on the OTC that sell for $30,000. Most people don't know that. And they will sometimes sell 300 shares a day. Well, that's a lot of money. That's where most of the money went that day. Subtract that, and how much is left for the penny stocks?
Yeah.
It's getting thin. I'm done. You can put everybody back up.
No. Well, anytime you guys want to green, feel free. And the truth is it matters. And that's just a tool. And it's not a tool that I often use. I use it, I look at it, I get disappointed, especially now. And I'm like, because it takes a lot of digging to really find that one that has significant volume, steady volume. Steady volume is really hard to find in the OTC at this point.
Yeah.
Here,
Go ahead,
case in point, I pulled up advancers and I clicked on all, and I just scrolled down through the highest percentage gainers for the day. And there's only like 3 that had more than $10,000 in trading until all of a sudden you hit RBTC. They did 80% gain and they traded over $229,000 in volume, 527 trades. And if you care, 4.25 million shares traded. Why? Like, how come no other stock's getting that? And I'm going to click on it, see if they had news. I'm just curious.
And
Like,
that's
is
something
there a
too, because
catalyst?
That's like 1/7, 1/8 of the entire market's capital. One stock out of 12,000 took 1/8 of all the
And
money.
they did not have news. The last news was 4 days ago.
You know, a stock that's actually been a favorite of the BFC as of recent. I'm not pumping today. See? So for those of you that are like, pay pumper. Now, maybe, okay, I'm going to pump this BBBT. How about that?
50%
BBBT
gain.
had huge volume today.
Mhm.
It's a
44,000.
0001 stock on the verge of getting SEC reporting. BFC is buying it all up. But that's another one where it's like that was the majority of volume. To look at that one up, BBBT.
Blackbird
It did already.
Biotech.
Blackbird Biotech. Yeah. There might
I
be some
bought
stuff
it if you
happening
want
with
to
that
throw it
one.
up.
Look at the volume. as of
It's right
recent.
here on the advancers list. They did 50% gain, but they only had $44,000 in trading today. There was only 59 trades, even though they traded 438 million shares.
Right. See, that's what I mean. Volume doesn't tell the tale. How many trades were there? If there's only 2 people, they've bought their shares and they're gone. You're thinking, oh, look at all the shares. You jump in there to trade and there's nobody there because they left.
It's a trap if you do that.
Yeah. So I always go and look up that stock to see how many trades a stock has had. If it isn't doing triple digits, it's not active. It's just not got enough pump. Wow.
Yeah, I think this one is going to have, and my new goal is this. And there's nothing significant enough. Like they have a new CEO. I try to look at basically how low is it? Is there a catalyst coming up? One thing I like about this one, I'm just using this as an example. I like this because Brian actually mentioned this in the chat that it's a Eric Newland stock, and he was the attorney for igpk, and I did confirm that. But what's nice is that they're looking to, and that's a one common denominator, a couple. But I like this because it is delinquent SEC reporting, and you're probably thinking, why would you like that? You're out of your mind. Well, because if they get SEC reporting, and that's why it's a high risk. This is not financial advice, but this could have a major payoff. So I'm just using this as an example. But there was an increase of volume, and I don't know if that was just us BFC people, but we've gotten a significant amount of it. So it's become an exciting one for us. So we'll see. There's been grumblings about maybe an acquisition or a reverse merger or something like that. So we'll see. And that's the thrill that I like is to just throw at these little gambles here. But so we'll see where this ends up. But yeah, I thought I'd bring that up when you're talking about volume and people trading, how many people were actually buying stock. That it sort of reminded me of that.
The good thing about a triple-O stock is every tick is monumental. The hardest thing is being in line to sell and capitalize on that gain before it's back to where it started.
Oh, and it happens quick.
Stock.
It happens so quick. Sometimes you could have 2 hours. You have a window of an hour or two. Sometimes.
There's some interesting case scenarios that draw attention right now. I had one of my first clients when I sold press releases. I resold PR Newswire or Market Wired for quite a while and ended up working with hundreds of public companies. And one of them was a guy named Ryan Shadle, and he S1 to LTNC, which everybody's heard. Now he no longer is the CEO of that. He's MVCO CEO. But the CEO of LTNC now is a huge investor in a stock that I haven't worked with in a number of years, but GTVH. Have you heard of Steven Dalsgaard?
No.
Yeah.
Golden
Yes.
Triangle Ventures.
Yeah.
Look up GTVH.
Golden Triangle. Yeah.
Yeah. See, the CEO of LTNC is the largest investor in this company. And look at the amount of volume. 59 million shares, 59.7 million shares traded, and they traded over $139,000 worth of stock today. And they've been doing that. They've been having some strong volume. What's that? Since 5/17. So just about a month, the volume significantly increased. I don't know how they've been able to hold the amount of volume they're getting, but they've seemed to have got the number on attracting that type of attention and keeping people there.
Yeah, it's interesting. That's what I was saying before about consistency, getting something that is consistent volume. And the price, obviously has to do with, the share price, where it's at. Like, if you have that amount of shares in a 0001, it's going to be less in dollar volume. But I'm looking for the ultimate risk reward play lately. I don't know, like this. That's just me. You guys know me. I like my medium to long holds. I really do. What are your thoughts, Schito, on just volumes? Any stocks that you've come along lately that sort of?
I'm curious to know what sort of stocks Europeans look at on our OTC market as being intriguing.
Yeah.
Is it the same old stocks we look at, or you got something else that you're playing?
No, Europe. I can't speak for Europeans because there is not too many that I know that trade the OTC. I personally have always specialized in the thin stuff, so that's a totally different thing. I'm not going after volume usually. I'm trading the big spread stuff, the very low float stuff. That has always excited me the most. Obviously, I play everything, but I'm specialized in the low float stuff. So, but this is particularly tough, of course, right now because there is even less volume in these and less interest in these. They are the last ones that get looked at right now. So it's not an easy task in the last few months. But that's what I do most. And obviously you have to diversify extremely if you do that, because obviously these stocks, low floats, micro floats, they have huge spreads. So if you want to sell, you have to use small sizes. And I always try to do that to people. Diversification, big time and small sizes. But then you can play more, I play 50, 70, 100 stocks at a time, at any time. So and then you can.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
you can do that on through that angle as well if you want. Some don't like that, but I like it the most.
You're a dude. You're hardcore. That's for sure. And you talk about like low floats. Like I do love I think there will be a revival in stocks like Triple DX, NUMD. Like look at NUMD. All right, they have no convertible notes. That's a beauty. They have literally, and they just had an excellent reverse merger with the real estate company. It's actually one of the most legit plays that I'm finding out. And like honestly, it ran a couple times, but I'm looking at actually, guys. If anybody follows Barry the Great, he actually brought that one to me months ago, and reach out to him and ask him a question about it, because that is a play that's just totally set up. The only convertible was actually for the company being reverse merged in. It's really clean. I like the sector. They're actually, I don't know if you guys knew this, but self-storage is the biggest division in real estate on returns. It's huge. It's a big money maker. Most of it's privately, but they're going to be able to associate themselves with names such as like Public Storage and CubeSmart and all that. So I don't know. That's one that is on my list that I think eventually it is going to pop. Because if the volume was there, and then not, we got to add something else into the equation. Money coming into these businesses, the financing for these businesses isn't there. It's drying up. So many CEOs I've had on the show, they don't have funding, or the funding they get, the terms are horrible. And so they're reluctant to, deal with debt financiers or any of that stuff. And so once you get those people in, the more people that there are financing these companies, the more dollar volume is going to come in to move the stock. So I don't know. That's when you mentioned low float, Schito, that's what I'm thinking of. The NUMD just popped right in my head. I'm like, oh, geez, that's
yeah. I have been playing NUMD, obviously. Great setup, great merger. It had an okay run, but the times are just tough, Like maybe 2 years, 3 years ago, this would have had 5 times the run, But right now it's sleepy, and as soon as any buying stops there, people are trying to get out, at any price. Some of them, and some still do the buy high, sell low thing, and that's not healthy. But it's also a problem for these thin stocks, So we just need more communication, I guess, from NUMD. They were quiet lately, and if they are quiet, I mean, where can you get the buyers?
You can't create excitement.
No,
I'm gonna call him and get him on the show. Then that's
right. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Oh my gosh, it's funny. Let's go to some questions from the audience here. All right, here. Brian says, and this is for Wizard, your opinion on IDKFF. Long?
My view on IDKFF is long. Is that what
is it? Yeah, he's curious.
I think IDKFF is definitely good for long. I mean, first off, it's AI big time. They've got a lot more invested, but AI is growing. It's where we're heading. It's got a lot of growth to go. I think what I really like about IDKFF personally is that they have so many companies, over 70, and a lot of them are breakthrough technologies that are actually being quoted as trillion-dollar companies by Google. Another company he can't mention yet, he says we all know. Every one of those companies he wants to spin out. That's free shares for me. I own one company who can give me free shares in 20, 30, 40 different companies and hot technology. Heck yeah, I want to be around for a while for that. That sounds like a good long hold that's going to pay off one way or another, and probably multiple streams for me. So yeah, in case you haven't noticed, I'm excited about IDKFF. And I don't even know everything there is to know about that company. It's deep.
Yeah, and there's a lot of if you go on their website, they have a ton of companies. What I like about it, and look at Neurable. I mean, that is going to be a nice competitor. I mean, especially in regards to tapping into your brain uninvasively. I mean, crazy stuff.
They're going to get rid of the headphones. They're going to come up with some necklace or something easier that is just going to read your brain, and it's going to make that. It's going to read. I don't know. It's going to do things we can't imagine yet. I mean, and they are really focused on the fact that it helps us focus. But isn't it more about being able to use it for other technologies so that you can think your limbs to move, robotic pieces can move, paraplegics can actually use their abilities and stuff? So we're going beyond just consumers. We're talking about changing the world for people who have been stuck in chairs without any mobility. People who are going to be able to communicate with us now just by thinking their words. The words will come out of the speaker. I mean, we're about that far away from it. I think companies like that are dealing with AI that's growing instead of just an AI product, that first flush is going to die away. These, I can talk to you on the phone. I can talk to you at a restaurant. That stuff's going to fade away. That's just the tickling of what AI can do. We're going to get
handles a lot of companies are using it for customer service. They're using it for automated systems. They're using it for ordering systems. So they don't have to have somebody on the phone taking your order. They have an AI algorithm handling your questions and the products they have for their company to put together your order.
In a perfect language, any time of day. You don't. Do you have someone who speaks better English? I can't understand you. It will be able to speak to us. I think it will be the way of the world, but I think AI is going to be way more important to us than these consumer-based products that we get. So yeah, IDKFF, I like for the short hold. but I definitely like. I'm going to hold it for the long hold if that says anything.
Well, let's get into a couple things. I actually want to share this with you guys because if you notice, I've been putting these industry polls out lately. All right, so guys, if anybody's watching this and you see my industry poll, take the poll and share what you think in regards to the industry. And this is just fun to put together, to be honest with you. So the first poll I did was cannabis versus artificial intelligence, and that thing trounced cannabis, of course. And then we had mining versus agriculture, 63% for mining, and drone aerospace versus biotech, and that one slammed pretty good. The biotech got slammed pretty good. But if you look at, just like some of these things, I just want to get your take because let's just take a look. For example, let me just move along here. I just don't. Let's just look at this. All right. Let's look at the CAGR for each of these. Now, I did this globally. I didn't do this for just a US market, and I got as many charts as I could. But the CAGR for mining, and this is going through to 2030, 6.1%. We have 8.6% for agriculture and farm machinery, through 2032, and through for the global drone market, 12.7% through 2032. Well, let's go here, and I'm doing it based on an increase, 14% for the global biotechnology market. That's always going to increase. I feel like. Well, I'm going to talk about biotech in a second and see what you guys think. But here we are at the global cannabis market through 2026, CAGR of 30%.
Wow.
Then, which is big. It's huge. And I think a lot of that is going to culminate because of what's going to happen in the United States. And we're going to be a huge percentage of that. It's actually set to grow 14 to 15% in just the United States. And then you have the global artificial intelligence market, which is freaking dynamite here. And you're talking about a 36.8% CAGR. So when we're talking about like long-term plays, I'm thinking AI is the way to go. And, it's sort of like, all the like you talk about your Amazons, talk about all these little things they're doing. Oh, should have invested in that back in the day. Well, here we are at another pivotal moment. The next big thing, in my opinion, is AI. Talk about, and let's really factor in generative AI. It says it's going to be, this is a year old. I just pulled an article from Bloomberg. Yep. And $1.3 trillion market by 2032. And with regenerative AI, and this is where I'm going with this. With regenerative AI, we don't know how it's going to progress. It's almost scary to think about how well it can progress.
Yeah, most people don't understand. AI, the way we see it, is a one-task operating unit. It does one thing at a time, and we got to watch it. We got to make sure it does it right. Regenerative AI can do multiple tasks, lots of different tasks, all at the same time, be cognitive of everything at one time, and doesn't need us to watch over it. That's completely different.
That's scary. Just ask Elon Musk.
We've seen the movies. We know the possibilities. We're going to try to play nice with ethics. That's the whole bottom line here with AI. We've got to agree on the ethics, on the rails, on the...
Look at it from a different perspective for a brief moment, because history repeats itself. Look at computer. It started in a few garages. It was Microsoft and Apple, right, going after it. And look what it grew to. Well, AI. AI started as something that people really didn't understand. Now they're starting to catch on. It's becoming a household name. We're still, at this present moment, at the beginning of the wave.
Yeah.
Now, could we have made a ton of money up to this point? Yes, we've missed out on a bunch. But I believe if you look at the historical rise of certain trends and technologies, this has a long ways to go, because they're integrating it into sales. They're integrating it into every bit of technology. The Internet of Things is connecting through AI, so you can run your home through your phone, which I think is retarded, but it works great.
Serious stuff. Now it's being used with medical science, so that we're killing cancer. These companies that we're waiting 8 years to get a drug for, we're going to now come down to a year or 2 years to get that drug. Our biotechs are going to move their R&D a lot faster. You're going to get news presses a lot more often, which is the bullets for your R&D companies are those trials. I think AI is going to be so much more than a servant. It's going to be a scientist, and it's going to find the answers to solve problems, not just be convenient, but just change, not about making money, but about creating a safe, happy environment that works together in the best cohesion possible, which we've never been able to do. Can it?
I mean, it's going to be seated in every aspect of our life. I look at it as a double-edged sword. Like, a part of it is like, oh, this is going to be freaking exciting. And a lot of it scares the shit out of me.
Uh-huh.
It does. And so, you know, I don't know how I feel about it. Do I think we're going to have, I mean, especially in regards to the Internet of Things and the connectivity that comes with that, we're talking like, I mean, like you just said, we are going to be solving medical issues. We are going to be able to react to when grandpa kills over for a heart attack a lot quicker. You know, a lot of these things are going to be beneficial to society, but my concern is government regulation, because the government always likes to take these great inventions and sort of twist and turn and use them against us. It just seems that way. That's just my opinion, but I think it's Schito, what are your thoughts on the development of AI? And like, I know I'm throwing you a loaded question, but like, where are you at with this?
I'm certainly not too much of an expert on this issue, like to really know where this is going. I haven't looked into that too much. I agree that obviously it will be huge in a few years. Probably it will have much more impact than that we already think it will have. In terms of, I mean, we all know the good AI plays in the market, the known ones. I mean, I just hope that, I mean, in terms of the OTC, I hope that maybe some of the AI stocks in the OTC will participate, you know, in the momentum. That would be nice, because we have some on the OTC that want to play in this space. So that's always the question: will they participate? Because often it's like the Bitcoin stuff. I mean, we had Bitcoin running, and OTC was basically not participating for whatever reason. So, but
it's getting hammered right now.
Yeah, it's getting hammered now. Yeah. Yeah, I think also in the OTC there might be some chances if we can take that move with us.
Investing 101. I got a question, Schito. You said in a few years it's going to be big. Well, aren't you supposed to invest before it happens?
That's it.
Yeah,
that's it. No,
that's why if you buy some of the known high potential AI plays right now for longer term stuff, it's probably a good thing, like the Palantir or how they are all.
The one thing we really need to focus in on that most people overlook is the pick and shovels. All of these AI companies need those chips, which is why NVIDIA is the number one company right now. And then we look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA has pick and shovel companies that supply them. They have to have what they need to make everything they're doing. But these are the silent partners. These are the people that may be public, but nobody's talking about making as much money. They're making a ton of money too, but nobody's talking about them. Well, in all of these industries, instead of trying to find the leader of the pack, find who supports the leaders. Find all those silent companies behind them, pushing them up. This is where you can pick up a lot of silent big runners, because once their heads poke up, they run. They run right alongside there. Look at all the companies supporting NVIDIA. They're taking off big time right now.
Yeah.
And the same thing could be the same thing with cannabis. I mean, when it comes time, the crappiest cannabis stock is going to run, in my opinion. I mean, it's gonna happen. But I think you're 100% right. It's support the big names, support the companies that support the big names, and have business with them and have those revenues, because they're going to go along for the ride. It's sort of like, I don't know. It's sort of like when you put your hand through the water for a wave, all that water coming behind. Those are the smaller ones. You know. Go ahead, Josh.
I do have a different angle on the cannabis stocks. In the same way, a stock itself can be over diluted. There's an over dilution of cannabis stocks, and there's got to be a falling off. Now, I've worked in that industry considerably. I usually don't cuss, but I smoked a shit ton for a long time. And I don't currently smoke anymore. I just graduated with a degree in ministry, so I've got a different take on things at the present moment. But there's so many of them out there, and there's so little proper education. Even because I lump in the CBD companies, I lump in the like the Himpicos. It's a NASDAQ stock, but it probably won't be for long. It'll probably be an OTC again soon. That provide supporting products in the marijuana market. The issue is you have all these dispensaries that get so much amazing product now, but they can't offload it fast enough. They've saturated the market. I mean, you can go to your local street dealer and find bags of pre-labeled right out of the dispensary stuff that was overstocked because they're losing money hand over fist, having to offload all this weed they can't sell.
Yeah, but a lot of that has to do because of our laws. What grows in California can't leave California. If they had an export business, they'd get rid of that.
Leave California.
New Jersey would buy California's excess dope. No problem. So it's a matter of getting the laws changed so we can get all that herb, not just in America, but out to other countries as well. We're missing out on all that export business that the rest of the world is capitalizing on.
Grow weed. I'm just, it's everywhere. It's in every country, so they don't need to go to another country to get it. I mean, seriously, like.
Oh, no, but if you know anything about Humboldt, California, you want some of that
Humboldt,
weed.
yeah.
Yeah, you want some of that California Humboldt weed. So somebody in Austria, he's willing to buy some from California. Send it to me. Yeah, I'll trade you some of this dunk we got over here. Dunk up. You can have that. We get a whole new comshot going here around the world with marijuana. It's the community drug where nobody fights. We just get along.
Yeah, they've oversaturated the market. And I'm just saying that there's so many people, so many suppliers, and yes, so many people that ingest and partake. It's driven down the value and the cost for extractors and the processing machinery and the land. That stuff didn't go down. I mean, the cost of being able to run the businesses to do that has increased, and the value of selling the product has decreased. So it's made for an interesting moment in that market. That's all I'm saying. So it may draw a bunch of people to buying stock, but which company? Because I've worked with pick
thousands, especially in this space. I mean, and like even distillate, I think is huge. Distillate's going to be huge. I don't think it's necessarily going to be the farms. I think if you look at companies like Blag that are operating CBD,
no, because everybody wants things more concentrated now.
Right? They got to numb us. But
no, I quit dabs. I'm one hell of a baker. I mean, the decarboxylating and creating butter, I scientific genius of that stuff. I had to make my cookies like this small because they were too strong. But I got to a point where I asked myself, I can't get any higher.
You go to sleep.
Quit.
You get any higher, you just pass out.
Yeah, right. Well, the market perspective, I definitely think it's going to see a surge. Do I think, and this is another thing, I think it's the buzz of the government, and it's election year, and so they're talking about all these things. And, oh yeah, we're gonna cancel student loan debt, and the gas is gonna go down, and we're gonna legalize marijuana, and blah 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 blah. And so all the shit that they throw at us every 4 years, that they promise us, and then election's over, and then it just goes back to business as usual. And this is on an array of topics. I mean, you could talk about every single topic that is good for middle-class Americans. By the way, there's an inflation. I'm just going to say that. Go buy some cherry peppers. I learned the hard way. When you're paying $13 for a thing of cherry peppers, or a thing of Salem's hot dogs, and Josh, I know you know what I'm talking about. The Salem's hot dogs.
Hoffman's, you mean?
$20. No, actually, I do love Hoffman's. By the way, it's a good hot dog. Hoffman's is good. That's my second. That's my second favorite.
I'm from Florida. I lived there most of my life, and we used to get frustrated with all these snowbirds coming down to Florida, and I didn't have the appreciation I now have for why they do that. It's cold for a long time, and so they're coming down to Florida asking me about Hoffman's hot dogs. I'm like, "You have a Coney?" I was like, "What do you mean a Coney?" I was like, "Coney Island's in New York. Get out of here." Now I know Coney is a specific type of hot dog you can only buy in New York. So there's like this whole side market on people hustling Coney hot dogs down in Florida.
I'm not a Coney hot dog fan. Like I've had them.
I'm a snappy griller man.
Yeah. I want them crispy. I want them dark. you know, and that this could get crazy right now. But no, I do. I like my charred dog. You know what I mean? I like my Texas sauce. Boom. I like my onions and mustard. It's sort of like a, you know, but anybody from Buffalo knows, man. I love Salen's dogs, and I love chicken wings too.
Salem.
I'm doing wings again, by the way, tonight. I'm doing wings again.
Guess
You know
that
why?
Me and Schito are out. Sorry, Schito.
Where are you at, by the way, Stock Wizard? What state?
I'm in Michigan, just about 70 miles from Chicago.
Okay.
Right down at the bottom of Lake Michigan. It gets cold here. That's why they call us snowbirds.
Yeah. Yep. And
But
we're
I'll tell you
below.
what, I'd rather, you know what? I was going to say I'd rather put up with the cold than the hurricanes of Florida, because I've been through 4 hurricanes in Florida.
Wow.
4
So
of
have
them.
I.
Yeah,
I'm more
I
of
know you have. That's your lifestyle. But, you know, the
Hey.
cold is painful.
Yeah.
I really hate the cold. I do. Florida's hurricanes are a real bummer. The blue tarps stay on the roofs for years, and another hurricane comes, and you didn't even get the tarp off the roof before the next hurricane hits. But the weather in the winter is definitely gorgeous. No hurricanes, but the red ants in the grass, the alligators, the snapping turtles in the water. It's a jungle down there, and I don't like jungle. I like woods.
You know, I do
Okay.
love Florida. I've been down there a couple times. I do like it. I think I would probably take, you know, 6 feet of snow, because we live right in that band. Anytime we get those 5 to 6 feet, we get it. And I think I would take the snow over a hurricane. I think I would do that, because at least my house is frozen solid, as opposed to being, you know, completely
Flat.
gone. You know.
Believe it or not,
By the way, shout out to Mugen. The BFC has been big on IFAS. Can we have the wizard talk about Cult F?
F.
700% within the last month or two. Thanks.
Interesting.
Yeah, go ahead, Josh, and then maybe we could get into that.
believe it or not, hurricane season isn't that bad. I mean, I've been through quite a few, and the most recent ones I went through were in 2004. I got hit with all of them. There was like 3 that came through in the same year, and knocked out for weeks from power. It was interesting going through the situation, but unless you're in a trailer park, your home usually stays.
Yeah.
Usually, I mean, or unless you're right there on the coast and you have a few $1 million beach house, that's probably going to get tore up because you're on the coast. But the moment it hits land, it starts to die out, turns into a tropical storm, and everybody weathers that. It's the people right on the edge of the coast that really have the issue.
I agree.
For the most part.
I agree.
Fire ants do suck. I sat in the mound when I was a kid. Yeah, I don't recommend that. But
Oh man, they used to crawl in my car. They used to get in my car, and I'd be barefoot, and they'd be down there on the gas pedals, biting my feet while I'm trying to drive. No, it could have been an alligator. So it could have been worse.
the interesting thing about those things, they get on you, and then they send a signal for everybody to attack at the same time.
Yeah, it's horrible.
So it's not like just 1 bite, 2 bites. They all swarm you, and then they all bite at the same time.
It's wicked. It's wicked.
Yeah. Hey, Wizard, take this.
Colt F. Yes, this is the Cultured Meat Company. The name escapes me at the moment. They make lab-grown meat, which I think is another place the world is going. It's cloning. They cut a piece of meat off of an animal, and they grow that portion of meat. And it's exactly the same. You cannot tell the difference scientifically. There is no difference between
I
them.
am not eating that shit.
And that's why it is. That's the problem. It's very polarized. You either like it or you don't. And how can you like it? But it's safe. It's guaranteed 100% pure. The meat cannot get bacterialized. It grows and grows and grows. It doesn't stop growing. It just keeps producing meat.
We used to build houses with asbestos, though. That was fine. I mean, I don't think there's long. I don't think it's around long enough to. I mean, it's crazy though. But go ahead. I'm staring you again.
Already approved chicken. The FDA has approved cultured lab-grown chicken. We have not gotten beef there yet, though.
It's crazy.
They are doing it. They are doing certain types of steaks and everything. 2 states have already made laws already against cultured lab-grown meat. They won't let it into the states.
Amen.
You know, I'm sure we're going to see a lot of that, but at some point in time, it will become a matter of we need more for less money. We can't give all our land. You can't have all the methane coming from the cows. There's just so many pros and cons to growing our meat. I know it doesn't sound right. I would have a hard time eating it. I have a hard time eating venison. My brother-in-law hunts, and he brings home beautiful Michigan venison, eating corn and apples. It's the best venison you're going to get. But I'm just not cultured for eating venison. So I gag a little bit when I swallow. I don't know. So you give me a piece of lab-grown meat, I'm probably going to gag. But given time,
you won't know if they don't tell you.
That's it. That's it. Don't tell me. And I'll
the
probably
problem is
that's going to be the case.
There's a God effect. And I'm not going to bring the Bible into this, but I will bring my beliefs into this.
Go for it.
Anytime they've started to mess with what God has created, bad things happen. For instance, cloning. They've cloned sheep. They've cloned other animals. The life expectancy, the number of diseases and things they get far outnumber what our body can fight off and deal with the natural immune system we've been built with. And lab-grown meat, it may be able to grow the meat and duplicate or replicate meat, the texture, taste, and whatever, but you're going to miss some inherent benefits of natural that maybe it's not going to show up at first, but I believe will have some huge health effects in a short term that people can't possibly fathom.
And I'm sure that's what everybody thinks. They get scared of the unknown. We didn't want to go to nuclear power because we thought there would be some side effect. Microwaves, they're putting off something. Our babies are going to be born weird.
They are.
Over
Chernobyl.
time, but we're still using plastic bottles, which puts off estrogen. We're using aluminum, which causes Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
We just keep plowing through. We just say we can survive. Some of us will fall, but most of us survive. So, you know, I think cultured meat will get, because it's going to be more cost effective. You don't have to have the land, the feed, the antibiotics, the fighting the green gases. I think that's what makes the decisions in this country and probably most of the world. What's the best money maker for us, the people that make money? And we end up just doing whatever it is. So I think
we end up doing whatever it is they give us.
Right.
I mean,
right.
Sheeple.
So you may be right, but we'll end up there anyways.
And I think that we definitely disagree on this, and that's fine, you know, because we could actually have a nice discussion. By the way, get the wizard off the show right now. No, that's it. He's out. No. Thanks for answering that question. It's interesting to see where. And I'm a Butcher Box fan. I like getting my Butcher Box. You know, my New Zealand cattle. I love that, and I am big on IFAS. I definitely think that you know what I want to see. I want to see revenues. I want to see numbers. I want to see them start to really put themselves up there. I mean, yeah, if you look at the macro chart, it looks great. And poor Schito is over here. He's like, I just came on to talk about trading, and here we go.
Well, that's fine. That's cool.
But I mean, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I definitely like to see where the chart's going. But for IFAS, you know, there's so much potential. If the Bagas and the mixture, the SGP plus, if it does what they say it does, it could literally fix the cattle industry. The problem is we're going up against the big wigs. We're going up against the government, the big players in the agriculture industry.
It's disruptive. Somebody's going to lose money.
Well, and that's it. Everybody's going to be a winner there. But also it continues to give people a choice. And so I think maybe people just want us eating 3 vegan shakes a day. I don't want to drink 3 vegan shakes a day. Do I look like I want to drink 3? Say that 3 times. 3 vegan shakes.
I don't want
a day.
anything vegan.
No, I don't like a plant-based burger. That's the stupidest thing. If you look at the calorie,
I grew up vegetarian, and I do not eat vegetarian food.
I just lost 5 subscribers. 5 vegetarian subscribers are like, you know what, BFC, you're a crock.
Everybody should eat what they want. I'm going to be real.
No, exactly.
I'm just not going to eat it.
It's definitely interesting. One thing I want to do. Let's do the bourbon of the week.
Before you do it, brief second before we transition, Schito, I'm looking at this Colt F and liking their chart. Wow. Did you see the volume on that puppy?
700% up, didn't they say?
Yeah. Yeah. They still have a really low market cap. But they are trading under a quarter, barely. It's penny stock exempt, which I like.
Yeah. Yeah. Bonus.
Yeah.
Crazy move. Yeah. I've
Well, I
never
don't think it's
followed
done.
this
I'm looking at
one.
the chart. It did it from where?
Oh,
Wait.
wow. Look
Helps
at
if I
that.
go
Yeah.
back.
She's been climbing for over a month, starting
share it,
down
John?
there at 2 cents.
Well,
And it's up there at
last year,
1.4.
between January and April, it made a nice run, and it's just fallen since then. A few small runs, but again, we have it since April, and it's been steady up.
Yeah, she's hitting the strong resistance of 3 years ago. She has just now come up to those highs again. She's making a good rip. She's actually got a 3-year cup and handle setting up right there.
Wow.
That's a long play.
Especially since most of the F stocks are like really like tough to trade. Most of them are really bad to trade, but this one is a real gem. I mean, I never followed this one.
Yeah, most of the F stocks need to be in Canada if I'm going to trust them, to be honest. The ones in Africa, Colombia. You know why I don't like those companies? It's because I can't do any research. Try to find the piece of land they bought in Africa, or try to find the building, or try to find the license. You can't find any information to validate stuff in all these other countries. So I try to just steer away from them unless they really can prove revenues coming in over there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I guess we're looking at
winner.
Yeah, for colte. I guess that's good. I had to smash that twice. So yeah, I'm actually going to take a look at that one. And so if it does break that 3-year resistance, now we have a whole new story being told. And so that's
I hear sounds like Michigan. I like that.
Let's get to the bourbon of the week, Rob. All right. The bourbon of the week. Yeah, that's right. Calumet Farm Single Rack Black 15-year-old bourbon whiskey is the pinnacle of Calumet Farm bourbon family. It represents the premium quality our brand is known for, as well as the hard-earned badge of patience. Allowing our bourbon to age slowly in Kentucky-only rickhouses is a testament to doing things the right way, the way bourbon should be done. All barrels used to craft this rare batches are aged in the single center cut racks. This expression of the Calumet Farm bourbon family is our most aged and highest proof to date. It is non-chill filtered for added depth of character and color. Calumet 15-year. That's what I'm drinking today. I actually had this a year ago. I used to do a bourbon of the week, and I'll tell you, like, it got expensive, and I got a nice collection going of the bourbon. Oh yeah, I got the chair's talking to me. That's funny. But it's a good. It's mild. It's sweet. It tastes better after a year, after it's sort of sat there. And I've had a little.
It was 105 proof.
Yeah, it's 105. Yeah, it's delicious. It really is. It's actually has become one of my favorites. But it's one of my favorites after a year. So, and I used to do these bourbon tastings. And actually, guys, if you ever want to go, if you're into bourbon, check out a channel, and I'll always plug this guy because he has the greatest videos. He's called Whiskey Bonded, and you can tell he's a very seasoned bourbon taster. And this stuff is phenomenal. After the more it breathes, like a lot of bourbons, the more they breathe. Some come out of the gate and they're just gross, they're disgusting, like fire. But then there's some that if they're decent, like one of my favorites is Noble Oak. Noble Oak is an easy drinker. It's a delicious bourbon. But I'll say, Calumet 15-year. More than a year ago, I opened that one, and so I figured, what better way to enjoy it? But with you guys being on the show, and I do want to give a shout out to the week. Cheers of the week. Here it is, Wayward. I know Wayward's watching right now. That's his truck. No, it's really not his truck. That's Wayward. Anybody that's in the Discord knows who Wayward is, and he's been featured in some of our videos. He did our shrimp review. He was in the seat video, and good stuff. So cheers of the week goes to Wayward. Cheers to you. If there's anybody from your community that you want to give a shout out to, go for it.
And you're actually drinking a 16-year-old whiskey now.
I am. There. You're right. Tell him it's 16 year. Got the rosy cheeks going on already. My gosh. But yeah, if you guys want to give a shout out to anybody from your community, have at it.
I want to give a shout out, actually, because it fits the issue we talked about prior. I want to give a shout out to all the OTC guys that still grind every day, that put energy and time on Twitter and on social media to get this thing, you know, to keep up some momentum, some interest, like you guys. All three of you are part of this, and it's obviously for somebody that only wants to trade OTC, that's an important thing. And there is some guys out there that just keep on going, even if it's tough, and it's tough for everybody. It doesn't matter if you're an expert or a noob. For everybody, the OTC is for everybody tough right now. And we talked about the lesser volume. Obviously, just talk to the people. I mean, how many diehard OTC guys do something else? You know, I mean, and that has reasons. I get it. We all know plenty of different reasons why the OTC is struggling. Different angles of reasons, but and many, they go to small caps, they go to meme coins, they go everywhere, you know, and we feel it in the OTC. Obviously, that's why we don't have the volume. That would be my shout out.
Yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to Ryan Shadle. We've been discussing bringing analyst coverage to penny stocks. Something that doesn't happen, but creating a organization that provides unbiased ranking of the value of a stock based on, you know, A to D or A to F, and then also giving them a social ranking based on their communication with shareholders, their activity in social media, and how transparent they are.
Phenomenal.
So there'll be a few different ways, if this works out, which I hope it will. There'll be a few different ways that we'll be able to classify OTC companies as a potential investment, which I think will give some comfort to people and encourage them to step in and start buying OTC stocks, you know, as long as it's unbiased. And that's going to be the clinch.
I don't hope it. Make it happen, man. Because I think that would be a really valuable resource for all of us to be able to sit down and, like, a company wants to come on the channel. Like, I've had companies, they reach out to come on the channel, and sometimes, you know, you just got to feel it out. You don't want to accept everybody. You want to make sure that, you know, people aren't all caveat their stocks, and people that, you know, haven't traded, that they're just trying to use a platform. I really, and I know you feel the same way. I try to, in stocks, all you guys try to develop a long-lasting relationship, because it's not just about doing one interview or mentioning a stock just to get a quick run for 3 weeks. I want to have a long-lasting relationship with the people on this show. There's a reason why I'm having Eyeless on again, you know, and I've covered them for years because they know me, they know my consistency, they know how I conduct myself. Look at Black. They've been on regularly. IVDA, David Lee's been on regularly. I mean, IFIS. I mean, all these companies are regulars because it's an area of respect, and I love the social aspect of it. And I think that kind of a thing really would give some foundation to, all right, not necessarily who we could trust, but like, all right, where's a good place to start for people for research? How are they on the social aspect? How are they on financials? They could have a rating on financials. How many times have they used their grace period? How many times have they, you know, been untradeable? How many times has this company in the last 5 years went expert market? Yeah. And that those patterns matter. And I mean, you know, look at AHRO. Shout out to Chris, the CEO. See, I'm covering my butt there because I do like Chris. I think he's a great guy. But you know, that stock had momentum, and what happened? You know, you hit that wall where now, you know, it's untradeable for a month. And I do think the stock has great potential, but now it's a unnecessary month of waiting. But I wanted to give the Stocks Wizard a chance to give a shout out.
I don't have a shout out. You know, I just moved to this area. I came back here because my mom had cancer. I moved from California back here to Michigan. It was too cold here. I've been gone for decades. And I came back. Mom's great. She hasn't got
Good.
cancer anymore, but I'm still cold. Although it is warming up out there, I'll give it credit for that. But this is where I went to high school, but there's nobody here anymore.
So what's your favorite strain?
My favorite strain? Well, I'm definitely sativa. Because I'm so hyper and active, I use sativa as my standby. Then at night, when I don't have to worry about doing anything, I break out the heavy duty indica or my edibles, and I become a couch potato. You know, there's a lot of strains out there now. They're making more strains than I can even keep up with. But my favorites are the diesels. I really like the diesel flavor.
Sour diesel.
Yeah, I'm loving the diesels. The Gorilla Glues I like. The green crack is okay. We're talking about marijuana here, folks. If you came in late and you're just wondering, let's make sure you get
I was wondering as well.
Yeah,
and I wasn't late.
Yeah. But
they have some hilarious names now. It's gotten pretty epic.
The vapes are getting so cheap now. I can get a full gram of vape for $10, which is 85% kick ass.
You talking about like Delta, or are you talking about real?
Real. Yeah, up here in Michigan, we're getting these vapes for $10 a gram, which will last me a week, but I'm also rocked out because it's not the same buzz. It's a lot heavier. It's a lot thicker.
Yep. I'm a high energy person, and you know, for that, you know, I like to stick to the bourbon because let me tell you, the good stuff gave me many panic attacks. When I have a neighbor, and he was going through what do you call it, Parkinson's, and so he actually for a while he was using it medicinally, and it was Afghan Kush, and well, I had a little too much of that one day. And let me tell you, my arms were numb, and I thought I was dying of a heart attack. And I ran in the house, and I put my arms under the cold water because it was just like, it wasn't. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm dying. And you know, my wife goes, "You're an idiot." And I go, "Call an ambulance. I'm having a heart attack." I'm having a heart attack. She's like, no, you're an idiot, and you shouldn't have done that.
I don't drink. I'm a wimp. I can't put up with the hangovers. So I drink a cold beer on a hot day when I'm sweating. That's about it. Maybe at a wedding. But if you get married or have a baby, please don't ask me to take a shot. I'll vomit right there on the floor. Yeah. So, you know, we each do what we can handle. I know what I can
handle. That's
handle.
it. A little bourbon is it's you know what's really nice, especially with the bourbons. You open them up and you let them set. Boom. And you just come back every now and then and be like, how is this flavor developing? Just like anything, just like wine, especially. But you know what? I'm gonna put you guys on the hot seat right now. I have a challenge for you, and I want to see how well you can do.
Is this your surprise?
Oh, this is the surprise. Let's get to a fire round, Rob. I think Rob fell asleep. Rob. Rob was hitting the Afghan Kush. You'll never know. All right. So let's get to the fire round. The fire round. Here we go. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. First one's up. Chicken wings, blue cheese or ranch?
Blue cheese.
Oh, wait. Let's go. Hang on. Wait. Set the timer. I
what
messed
type
up.
of chicken wings?
Man, oh, here we go. Wait. Reset the timer. Rob's and get that music going, Rob. Come on. I think he fell asleep during the pot session. All right. So this is what we're going to do. You got 3 minutes. I'm going to start with JRC stocks. I'm going to start with JRC. Then we're going to go to Wiz, and then we're going to go to Schito. So that's the order. Each of you have to answer these questions. You get 3 minutes. All right. See, that music livens me up a little bit. Let's go. JRC, you're up first. Let's hit that timer, and let's rock and roll. Go. Blue cheese or ranch?
Yeah, timer, got music, and you can't hear anybody.
I can hear you.
Who's first?
It's JRC, Wizard, then Schito. Go ahead. JR, it's you.
I was waiting for the music to stop. Or do I talk over?
Oh, it's not stopping. It's not stopping, man.
Chicken wings. If they are hot and spicy, I'm going with blue cheese all day. Ranch just doesn't cut it. I want that creaminess of the blue cheese to cut in with the hot sauce because it rocks.
Stocks Wizard, go. You guys got 2 minutes and 30 seconds. You got 10 questions.
Blue cheese, chicken wings, absolutely.
Schito.
I don't know either of these sources. I go with ranch.
All right. If you could invest in only one industry for the rest of 2024, what would it be?
It's hard to hear. If you could turn down the volume of the music just a tiny bit to blend it better, that'd be great.
Oh boy, there you are.
Thanks,
Go.
man.
Just read the question.
The stock market industry. I'm just
Wizard.
if I could invest in only one industry for the rest of 2024, I would probably invest around AI and the things that support the growth of it.
AI.
Yeah, I would go with AI as well. I'm not big in industry stuff, but AI, I would choose.
JR, what's the sexiest name you've ever heard?
I'm married, so
You
I
better
have
say
to
your
think
wife's name
carefully
right
about
now.
this. The sexiest name I've ever heard. Wow.
That's a tough.
Jaja.
Jaja.
Oldie but a goodie.
Wiz.
I would just have to say the lady of my life who just never came back to me. What was her name? Oh,
It was that good.
Diane. Diane it makes my heart rock.
Schito.
There is a girl's first name, which is Amorelie, and I really like that one.
Awesome. If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
If I could have one superpower, it would be X-ray vision.
Wiz.
Oh boy. Superpower. You know what? I'm going to keep it easy because it's very practical. I want to fly. I think that would make life easy for me. I want to fly.
I like that.
I would take living forever.
Oh, I like that.
Immortal.
No, I don't like that.
Yeah.
What stock trade was your biggest gainer?
GMGI. I got the shares free working for the company and sold as high as $10 a share.
Wow.
I
Stocks.
have to forget. I got involved with a forward split that rock and rolled, and I made 20 times my money. It was a couple years ago. That was great. That was great.
You don't remember the ticker?
No, I'm getting it. No, I'm sorry. I'm getting old. I've been high. You know,
It was
I got a lot
Afghan
of-
Kush.
Take your choice.
Schito.
I don't know. I mean, I had a couple of 1,000% and more, but I would go with the symbol UPIN, which made me the most money altogether, I guess, over the last few years. It's now in the dumps, but that one was good to me.
Yes or no? Is the OTC dead?
No.
No.
No, I would go with no as well.
I agree.
It's in a coma.
Do aliens really exist?
Yes, and I have evidence.
That's for another podcast. I'm going to hold you to that. Wizard.
I know where you live. Yes, absolutely. No doubt it. Absolutely.
I don't know. I would go with no, but I would let me getting talked into it for sure.
What is your favorite chart pattern?
Triple bottom.
Double
With a
bottom.
horned wedge. I really like a horned wedge.
I'm going to stick with my double bottom. I like a big bottom.
I don't go much with chart patterns in general, but I like it if something is moving and then tests the weekly VWAP, you can make great trades out of it. It's one of my favorites lately in the OTC as well.
I love the 3 white soldiers, and that's one of my favorites. If you had to invest in one OTC cult stock, which one would it be?
Oh,
I would have to say at this present moment, it would be LTNC.
What do you mean by cult stock?
It means everybody's talking about it. They've got a huge following. It's like an AMC or a GME.
You talking memes?
everything.
Yeah.
Oh, heck. You know what? Because it's so long lived and still popping and dropping, I'm going to go with game.
I would go with probably LTNC as well. IGPK maybe. I'm not in general big on this, but if I would have to choose, I would go with these because they have at least a huge potential.
I like both of those, and I'm going to add eyeless right onto that. What musical instrument is the most annoying sound to you?
I'm listening to all of them in my head, and they all have a place. But I would have to say that the Jew's harp is rather interesting.
Oh, geez.
These are hard ones, by the way.
Yeah.
You know, I guess I'm going to have to say an old standby, the organ. I've never liked the organ. It's just not even at the roller skating rink. It just didn't work.
It doesn't depend on the organ.
I would go with certain types of a violin. It can be brutal if the wrong guy is playing it. Let's say like this.
I agree with that, but I'm going to say the oboe. I'm going to say the oboe.
The oboe.
It's shrill. Lastly, and you guys took the longest out of any guest I had to complete this, which is funny. We're a bunch of delinquents. I think it's hysterical. This game was a mess from the start, but we're going to finish with this question. Who would you appoint as the president of the internet and why?
I believe I would appoint Elon Musk because he's done such a great job of canceling all of the pressure on subduing people's speech. And he's been upfront with being open to allowing people to say what they want to say.
I don't think anybody should control the internet. I don't think there should be a president or anything. It should be decentralized. That's been the problem. It's been becoming more and more controlled as time goes on. You put somebody in charge of it, we've lost control of it.
Yeah.
So who would you appoint?
It's hard to answer that question. I wouldn't know anybody. What I would say is I would agree with the Elon Musk thing. Despite that, I know that he has a lot of guys that don't like him and that think he did a bad job. But I think what he did with Twitter isn't that bad so far. I could live with him for sure.
That's saying a lot.
He definitely goes against the big. He goes against the big powers that be.
True. He's an individual. He stands out there by himself doing his own thing. I like that.
Yeah.
Arlex. Yeah, this guy. Sexiest name, Arlex. Dude, I'm going to call you Giraffe Boy from now on. That's your new name. You know what? Why don't you take the picture of you and JP and why don't you just switch that to a giraffe too? He did that on Twitter. You don't think we know that? Well, I know that. I noticed that. And shout out to
you ever seen two giraffes mate?
No.
I have nuts.
No, and this is not a dig to Super Robot or the giraffe community. Totally support them. I think it's great he's been on. I can't wait to have him back on to do an update. But yeah, Arlex, I am busting your chops, bro. All right. Here Brian's at it again. All right. MRNJ AI. What are your thoughts? You want to pull that up, Mr. Stocks Wizard?
I can do that. What is it? MRNJ?
MRNJ.
Yep.
Let's do that. MRNJ.
And I got to say, like, I
It
love
is
watching
a
him do
1,
this live.
2, 3, 4, 501 stock.
Oh my God.
If you
It's
didn't
not a
think you
thing,
could
But
go
it's
lower,
pink current.
wait.
That's all that matters. It's pink current.
Well, you
It's
can't
not
buy it at
liquid.
that price. Now, the great thing is if it's at this price, you're going to have to pay the floor, 0001. If they allow you to buy it, it won't be any higher, and it has to be at least 0001. So if it's on the market at that price, the bid should be, the ask should be 0001. How often can you actually get it on the floor?
Well, there's no inside bid. That means nobody wants to buy it.
Well, yeah, you got to get someone to sell it. You know, that's 10,000%. Well, that's a 10,000% gain. So if anybody sells from down there, they're making a huge profit selling to you.
Look at the number of authorized shares.
Yeah, no.
Holy goodness.
I'm not touching it.
Yeah, I mean, you cannot buy obviously below 001.
Even if they had 100 million share day, which would be decent, it would move the stock.
No, they did 1.6 million.
Which is not enough to even show up on the screen.
No, it isn't. No, it sure isn't. Are they making any
Hope
money?
that answers Brian's question.
All right. They just started making money this last quarter. They got 2 million on the books and it didn't cost them a thing. And they got half of that in the bank. And what do they got? Stockholder equity. They've got a little bit there. So they got their head above water, at least their nose. And what does this company do? Somebody said they work with AI.
Apps.
Is anyone familiar with this company?
I know the symbol, but I don't look into this thick stuff in general.
Metron Apps and AB International Group joined forces to launch an AI-enhanced movie streaming hub. Well, that's interesting. Looks like it's primarily Chinese from what I see here, which isn't a bad thing. Not necessarily. But the Netflix of China is what they're calling it, and they're going to use AI to do it. I'm not sure how you get AI involved with it, you know, but
it listens to people talking about what they want to watch and puts it on the screen before they get there.
So they're talking about doing business in China, but they're registered here in Delaware.
Yep.
See what their website looks like.
It looked like crap. I looked through it already.
Yeah, kind of bald and empty. And that's really what you get with a lot of these AI companies that are just, they're not really into AI. They're just selling a byproduct of AI. Ask them a question about AI and these companies don't know squat. They don't know.
They're just trying to ride along the coattails of the buzzword AI.
Yeah, like when Metaverse came out, everybody was into the Metaverse all of a sudden. Where'd they all go? You know?
Yeah. Well, Brian's saying he has made over 1,000 apps. And the owner is in San Diego, but based on where they're registered, I mean, that's completely different, I think.
No, they have made a ton of apps. I've looked at this company significantly before.
So you're saying it's a buy?
All I have to say is since he's made that many apps, you'd think he would update and improve his website.
I know people don't, and a lot of times I reach out to a company and I'm like, are you working on the website? Because that is like sort of the face. I know it could be like 2060, and people are still going to be saying, you know, where's your website? Where's your home base? You know, there are a lot of companies that I love that their websites are just mediocre.
Man, your first impression is everything. Where do people go to look up anything about you? The first place they usually go and click outside of OTC markets, if you're public, is your website.
Yes, absolutely. And if you don't have a good website that gives good information, I mean, we can read that. People who trade understand a blank website with a lot of words on it. And that's what we see a lot of in these AI companies. And that's why I'm particular about which AI companies I'm looking at. And IDKFF fits the bill of being an AI company, not selling an AI product.
By the way,
they'll be on JRC StockTalk. Well, actually, next Thursday, Buffalo's doing an interview with them along with Stock Picks NYC. And then the following Thursday, I'll be having them on JRC StockTalk. So between the two of us, I'm pretty sure we'll get to ask some seriously hard questions like, where's all the volume of selling coming from? How come you've put out, news on such a huge legal win that's worth $12 million and your stock isn't affected by what's happening at the present moment? And
it's not the lack of attention to it, and that's the truth. We've covered it. We've all covered it. And I even reached out and they think this, I did email them, seller's gone apparently, but it's just like,
he came back as soon as they had the volume. after the settlement, the seller came back big time. And this is one of the most interesting situations because this is absolutely undervalued. You think it would be a huge buy down here. But
that's a reason to buy. That's a reason to buy, in my opinion, you know?
Yeah. I just want to know from the CEO where the selling is coming from and who would sell into this. If you have a market cap of 12 million, you are already undervalued. You have a lot of assets. You have a lot. Your NAV is much higher than what is trading at because you had a seller in the last few months, and then you get a settlement which is worth currently on the stocks in the market exactly what your market cap is. So you get everything for free basically, and you cannot move other than like for the first hour because then the huge seller came in. That's weird to me because this should be long at 50 cents again. I've been buying after the settlement and I've been buying lately as well because I think if the selling stops, I mean, this could easily double or triple fast. But this was a very strange situation that it's basically where it was before the settlement happened. And that's weird.
Yeah. Brian McLean, he's throwing dollar bills at us. I feel like I should be dancing around a pole.
Are we splitting these tips?
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna buy that Bills Dolphins ticket with it. That's it. Actually, that's what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna do that. You're going to the game, man.
Okay, I commit.
All right, he's committing here.
You know what sucks? I have 3 stepsons and they're all Bills fans.
Good. I hope they give you help.
I can get along with everybody because I don't have a team. I don't follow sports. I gave up on sports when I was 18, when my Michigan team lost the Rose Bowl the 7th time in 10 years. I said, that's it. I can't do this. I'm not a Mets fan. I can't hold out. So I've been free of any of that for the rest of my life. So I don't care who you guys go for. I like you both. You're cool with me.
Good.
Somebody needs to explain to me why the Bills gave away the Dicks. I mean, that's the weirdest thing I've ever heard. I mean, shouldn't you have kept this guy?
I think what he was saying was Diggs.
Take Schito off of the Rob. Take Schito out. Take him out.
No, they got rid of him because they got rid of Diggs because Diggs was he was a problem maker. One, he was a diva. No offense to him. He's good at what he does, but he knew it. And if you know it and you're not humble, then you don't belong on the team because you're just going to create havoc in the locker room and there's going to create divisions and you're going to feel like you're better than other people. You need more reps, whatever the case is. And that's not the team approach. And he was detracting from what the Bills was doing. I don't like the Bills. I'm being real about that. So God bless Diggs moving on. They do need some wide receivers right now.
That's what I wanted to say. They lack of some serious wide receivers now. So we would see.
We don't.
I'm feeling so stupid here. We got a guy in Austria, Europe, talking about the Bills in America, and I haven't a clue what he's talking about.
Yeah, I'm a huge NFL fan, so I watch everything, and I play fantasy football as well. And
did you go to London for the London games or anything like
that? But I went to Munich when we.
Oh, you did go to Munich.
Brady was in Munich last season. He had. Wow. So I went to this. Yeah.
How was the experience? What did you think?
Huge. I mean, the stadium in Munich is great. The Bayern Munich stadium is it from the soccer guys, you know, and that's a huge stadium and was incredible.
Did they fill it?
Energy there was really good. I was happy.
Was it a filled stadium?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. No, I mean it's a huge momentum here for NFL. It's getting bigger and bigger in Europe. Yeah,
that's funny. That's funny because
you better bet on the Finns this year.
Nobody liked NFL. Nobody in Scotland give a shit about it.
Yeah, Scotland, England, probably not. More like Germany is big now on NFL. Austria, we have some good teams as well here, which are one of the best in Europe. So that's a reason also.
Of the three teams, you guys are the best.
Do you guys want to give thoughts on HWAL? I don't want to I just want to get that one out of here. HWAL. If you want to pull up something there, I know Stocks Wizard is quick. He's quick. He's popping on the glasses. There it is. I only have my one screen share, so I'm trying to like.
No worries.
Polywall
You got it, man.
Entertainment.
All right.
Yeah,
Let's go.
that's a micro float.
All right, Hollywood Entertainment, an emerging public company at the forefront in development of telecommunications, technology, media, and entertainment.
It's
They
not
are
a
in
blow to
Las Vegas, Nevada. Look at that. What happened? They got nothing on volume here. They're on the market.
It's got a tight flow too. Schito's favorite number is held at DTC, and they have 8.1 million shares held at DTC.
Wow, that looks good. Yeah. That looks good.
Well, wouldn't the float be closer to 25 million?
No, I mean in the OTC, and I know that's a big discussion always, but the unrestricted is technically not the float in the OTC, because unrestricted can be unrestricted but not deposited to the DTC. So unless they get deposited, they cannot be sold. That's why sometimes you even see unrestricted getting decreased, because if an insider holds shares which get from restricted to unrestricted, which we have seen a couple of times in the last few months, and he retires them, then he can still retire them, because they are not in the float yet. In the float, they are in the float as soon as they show up on the held at DTC. And I wrote a piece on Twitter about that, explaining that in detail, because obviously it's important to realize that the unrestricted can be deposited at any time, and sometimes it's like a day delay or something. So you always have to consider that the difference between the unrestricted and the DTC, it can grow the DTC to that number at any time. But in the actual market is the DTC number. That's the float.
That's a decent float then.
Yeah. Low floater, and it seems like could move. He did say, look at the 5-year chart. No reverses. They cancel 50 million shares 6 months ago. Retired, gone for good. Ex-CEO fired. So it looks. I'll put it on the BFC watch list too. And I got Mugen. When can we talk about ILIS? I know how 3+ A-Rock has talked about ILIS in the past. Let's talk about it. By the way, and you guys probably want to know like when the interview is going to be. It's going to be, I don't know.
I remember
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing the interview. No.
You guys remember when ILIS came
duped
on
you
to
just
the
to get you to come to the show. That's it. I said there was going to be an interview. There's not an interview.
I'm going to get Brett back on before he takes over Opti. I'm going to get Brett back on and talk about all of these individual investments and see what he has to say as an update. Yeah,
it will be interesting. I tried to get his thoughts on CYBL, but he's staying quiet there. But I only want to talk about that one. I don't want to waste time on that. But yeah, there's no ILIS interview. Just kidding. ILIS interview is going to be this Thursday, June 13th at 5 p.m. and it's going to be live. Don't forget, we're 15 hours apart. We're at 3 ends of the globe, and so we went back and forth on the time. I'm absolutely elated to be hosting Nick Link for the very first time on the show. And JP Beck will be on as well. And I'm hoping they have some good, juicy information to bring. They've been transparent. I was at their shareholder meeting last year. I will be asking them about a new shareholder meeting. It's very exciting. This is one of my long-term investments, and there's a lot going into this one, a lot in the community. And I plan on asking some really important questions that you guys have, questions that we've all been thinking about in regards to share structure, the business operations, the restructuring, everything. I'm going to give it all I got. And so it's going to be live, which is huge. And, it just took a lot of coordination in regards to just setting up a perfect time. So there it is. It's going down at Thursday, June 13th, 5 p.m. So be there or be square. And yeah, it's a picture of me and JP over at the ILIS shareholder meeting in Miami, which was an absolute great time. And, got to meet some excellent people, some of whom which I still talk to. Huh?
It was in Miami.
It was a good time. It was a good time. Yeah, I get it. Hey, all right, whatever. I'm just going to shut up. No, it was good. So, I mean, my thoughts on ILIS is, listen, I said when I first invested, and I said this, and I'm consistent, and I'm not imminent. Yeah, imminent. You know,
Imminent.
this is. I'm going to just give my beef, and you guys could have any opinion you want. You know, I mean, like, this is an open platform. I will say this: I said 3 to 5 years before things really get cooking. I said this when it went from 18 to 25 cents because things were being very overvalued in that era of 2021 Pumperama. It's just the truth. And yes, it was the video. And I know you had a great time, Mr. Anthony the video, my homeboy over there. But, you know, where I'm going with this is this. It takes time. They've pivoted when they've had to. And I want to ask them a bunch of questions in regards to their operations and what's going to happen going forward. If you look at the share structure of ILIS, they have had some dilution. They have added shares, but it's not a crazy amount. It's not this like they add a block of 1 billion, 3 billion, 4 billion. This isn't an out of control share structure. It really isn't. And I think a lot of it has to do with the subsidiaries that they have and the fact that they have ownership of QIND, the fact that they have ownership of SAML. And so when they have to issue shares for acquisitions, they could utilize those share structures. I'm not going to speculate so much. I want to hear from them. I want to hear what their plan actually is. Do I think the stock is going to improve? I absolutely do. I think it's a buy. I think that they're solidifying themselves. I want, and am I saying that as a biased shareholder? I'm just saying that as somebody who believes in the company, somebody who's met them and done the due diligence. Has it worked out exactly how we've wanted? No, it hasn't. You know, so some of the hardest roads, you know, lead to glory. But I mean, like, it is what it is, and we're gonna see where we're at with it. I think that SAML is crucial. I think the uplist of QIND, you know, to the NASDAQ and everything that's going on with ASMN or whatever. Oh my God, I can't even think of it right now.
I got to applaud them. They have 34,000 shareholders.
Yeah, it's not a small group, and I think a lot of people are loyal. But I think a lot of people want to.
Huge. That's huge. When you look around, you see lots of companies with less than 100 shareholders, and it blows my mind. It's like, really, this is a popular stock, and it's got 34 shareholders last March. So when you start talking thousands, that's what I like to see.
And listen, Jamie has a great point. Jess in LA. Don't forget the 10 million shares. They own 10 million shares of DRCR, and DRCR is going to uplist. And that is, I mean, if you look at the numbers on DRCR, I mean, their revenues are excellent, and they're turning a profit. Yeah. And I don't think that Nick, and when he talked, I'm going on a tangent, but when he talked about generational wealth, when they talked about all these things, it's not going to happen overnight. You know, when I was talking with JP, this is going back years, so he goes, he said right out, he goes, I wish the share price didn't go up as quick as it did, because then it created all these unreasonable expectations. But you know what? The truth is they've laid out certain things that they said they were going to do. Some things went through, some things didn't. And they're going to hopefully lay out on Thursday what it is, where are we from here, where are we going? And I give them 100% credit for sticking with it and communicating with us. And it's my favorite OTC play because, you know, I love my ILIS. I like the stock. Can I say that?
ILIS has been around since the 2021 situation. Karen Courier saved that stock from the expert market. She was all behind it. I remember when it came from nothing. And to see what it is today, they're working. They're working hard. You look at how many other companies have been out there as long as they have and have gone nowhere, aren't making any progress whatsoever. So whatever ILIS is doing, they may be fumbling and bumbling and making mistakes, but they're working it. They're getting the job done, and this company is growing huge, and it is still growing, spinning out more companies. So I like ILIS, definitely for the long run. Fire's never going to go out, and they're expanding and diversifying now.
And I think they want to focus on that. And with QIND, I think them ditching Quality International was actually a good thing because the tranche payments were way too heavy. That was a mess. They couldn't afford it, and so I think when they took a step, I think them nailing that was good. You know, as much as you wanted it, because the numbers were great, but if you can't sustain it and if you can't pay for it, if it's out of your, hey, I like a lot of sports cars, but I can't have the sports car yet.
I have a great idea for the company after looking at their setup, and I would love to talk to them briefly about it. I think you could turn around the way the stock's trading at the present moment and the volume that it sees right now. Is there any way you can make an introduction to me for that?
Sure.
I'll be happy to talk to you about it later.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? They're a very open group, but they're focused. They are hyper focused. They're protective of eyeless. You know, they don't over pump. God bless you.
Oh, no pump involved. I've been part of five companies that have gone from OTC to uplist, and that's an unusual trend. But I've been blessed to work with companies that did their stuff right and were able to uplist, and I was part of the team that made it happen. And I saw something that's been used in the past that would really be beneficial for them at the present moment. That's all.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? Maybe we could get you backstage for our pre-show meet and greet, just so I could give you guys an introduction and stuff. And you know, and I know you're legit, but I'm excited. But you know, Schito, your thoughts?
Islands and the clique of companies that are related to them. The stocks have a hard time. Mostly that's what I see. But I see and I follow you with them as well. It seems they put in a lot of effort, that's for sure. And you can't say that of every OTC CEO, you know. So that's already a really important thing if you want to hold something for the mid to long term, you know. And this DRCR, I mean, they had unbelievable numbers like in May presented. I bought actually that stock based on these numbers. Then it was like fumbling back and forth in the teens, and I got rid of it. And lately it really broke out. So that's a great one because the numbers are really good.
Well, DRCR is working on our weakness, our impulse to want to just, it's only $5. It's only a $3 bet. Hell yeah, he's going to make that first down. Bank, and you only got a few seconds to make a decision.
Yeah, these numbers were impressive. Yeah, really good. I didn't have enough patience, obviously, on this one, but I held it a few weeks, but it was still, I thought it was struggling, but sometimes they do. It's you could maybe compare it to IDKFF, you know. I mean, there was somebody selling heavily into these numbers, you know, into the momentum of the numbers. And at some point, they stopped, you know, and then it shot up, you know. And I hope the same about IDKFF, something like this. Hopefully, we see, you know. Sometimes it happens. They force you out because you have doubts, you know, about the stock if it's not moving after good news, and sometimes suddenly they move out of air, you know.
Yeah, I see a lot of delayed reaction on good news. There'll be hot news, and 3 days, 4 days later, it runs when there's nothing out there. So you've got to put it on what just happened. Well, I guess they were playing bread and butter over here, and you had to wait until you had time to get over here. So
it's interesting. Yeah, you can see that quite often. That at first somebody is holding against it. I don't know why, actually, but you can see that quite often. Yeah, and then suddenly they let it loose.
Yeah, it's crazy how it works, man. It really is. And that's how I was thinking with NUMD. I'm like, wait for it. Okay, it never happened. Okay. So, you know,
at least it was it went to 9 or 10 cents.
Yeah, it was by 8 or 9. It topped out at 9, I think.
It should have done more, obviously, but it might do more if the guy gets active again.
Hey, YouTubers, are you having a good time? Let us know in the comment section. Are you going to be back on? Are you guys coming back on? You better be back on. This is fun. We're having a good time. So let us know if you guys are having a good time. It's actually really nice to sit with you guys. And I wanted to say honestly, sincere thank you. And this isn't me totally wrapping up now, but I wanted to take a second because you guys are awesome at just getting out there and just sharing the information and doing the due diligence. And, you know, Schito, you come down hard when you have to. And we've seen it, you know, and, you know, Stocks Wizard, JRC, you guys cover a lot of aspects of the stock. And that's what we all try to do. You know, you try to do a little bit of the chart, try to do a little bit of the due diligence in regards to their latest news, right? Keep up to speed on the share structure, what notes are coming out, what convertibles are. There are so many aspects to this, and that's just like the tip of the iceberg. And, you know, I want to say thank you for what you do for the OTC community. The OTC community is not dead. And you know what? You're going to hear us big time in the next bull run. And when that volume starts to return, you know, we're going to have so much information between our communities already out there for companies that are surging. And it's just going to be like, it's going to be like, oh yeah, we should have seen this coming. So that's when I talk about cannabis, when I talk about AI, especially when it showed up that CAGR, you know, you're talking about a 36%. This is the time, and this is my opinion, not financial advice, but I think this is a time you invest when things are crapping down and beaten up.
Right.
That's it. It's buy low, sell high. And I love, you know, Stocks Wizard, you had a great analogy earlier about talking about investing in the companies that are supporting those bigger companies.
Pick and shovel. Yep.
I love it. I'm going to use pick and shovel more. And I just want to say, it's true. If you guys are BFCers, whether you're Stocks Wizard, hey, if you're part of any of these communities, subscribe to the BFC, because we're going to definitely do this again. And if you're part of the BFC, please subscribe to these guys. Check out Stocks Wizard. There's his YouTube. I put all the links in the description of this video. So get on there, give him a follow, give him a subscribe on YouTube. Let's build a strong community here. Let's continue to build. Give JRC Spaces, check out his YouTube, check out his Twitter. Woo! Yeah, that's right. And check out Schito. There he is. Follow him on Twitter. The guy's been trading since what, 2009, you said?
For a living since 2009.
He does this for a living. The guy's a wealth of knowledge. And by the way, Schito and I are going to work on a video talking about filings. There's all this holy hell moment whenever filings are due, when the 10Ks are done or not done, I guess we should say, when the 10Qs are due, and everybody says, oh, how long do they have until the yield? How long do they have until the grace period? How long do they have until EM or CE and all those things? We're going to, in the next couple of weeks, be really putting our brains together and putting together a video that is going to answer all your questions. Maybe we do it live. Maybe we pre-record it and just release it. I think we might even do that. But this is going to be everything that you need to know for filing. So that way it's a go-to saying, all right, when is the Q due? All right, how long do they have until after it's due? How long is the grace period? When does the shit hit the fan and this becomes not tradable? When do I hold the bag? So we're going to get it to you in the next couple weeks. And I promise you that it's going to be a nice information piece for you going on in the future. So,
yeah.
So thank you guys for being a part of this. I appreciate it.
I would pre-record that one and do editing on it before you put it out, because that's going to be a great video.
Yeah, that'll be a green video that can be used for years to come.
Let's do that. We're not living that. We're gonna put bells and whistles on that thing.
I agree with the assessment. The only thing that sometimes helps people would be is if they can ask live questions. You know, that's the other angle, because as you know, I once did the spaces on this, and if they just see and read and hear about the stuff, and sometimes they want to ask direct questions, you know, but we will see how we do it best. Both angles have advantages, I guess. We
can pre-record it. We can pre-record it, and then we could stream it live. That way we can ask questions.
Yes.
And we want to do that to make sure that we're getting you guys the information. That's what it's all about, is getting better. I'm a hell of a lot better trader. Listen, I love, you guys know how much I love Eyelash. You're like, oh my God, there's a guy that loves Eyelash. No, you know what? I didn't just hold one bag. I said, I want to become a better trader. I want to learn the process. I want to get into the nitty gritty so that way I have a chance to make money. That's what it's about, is becoming better, not holding a bag from 3 years ago, because it's pointless. You got to be better, because there's opportunity. Where there's obstacles, there's opportunity. And the road isn't supposed to be some clean, freshly paved highway that you're running down. It's going to be a trail, and it's going to be difficult. And that's when you have your best journey. Am I wrong or am I right? I don't know.
No, you're right. Absolutely. It's a trail. Bumpy one.
Oh my God. Guys, this has been one hell of a night. I can't see Stocks Wizard. It's too smoky in there.
Come on.
No, I'm just kidding.
I thought I cleared it out.
Oh my gosh, you guys are great. So yeah, thank you. I want to give you guys each a moment to just talk to the BFC crew, talk to your crew, and give a shout out, and just give some closing remarks for the evening. JRC, we'll start with you, then we'll go to Schito, and then we'll go to Stocks Wizard.
All right, no problem. Hey guys, again, we're trying to build a community where You can learn and be empowered to be a better trader. We don't want to see your accounts blow up. We don't want to see you lose money. It's bound to happen, but there are things you can do to help position yourself better for growth and success with your trading, whether it's meme coins or cryptocurrency or OTC markets. So you have seasoned traders and investors that are willing to answer questions. Take a hold of the tools that you have and use them to your benefit. Go learn the most you can about how to do the right due diligence on what's her name? OG Tigress says, know what you own. You got to know what you own. Don't just randomly buy stuff because somebody says it on Twitter, because by the time you pick up the stock, you're already behind the ball and you're going to be holding the bag. So thank you so much, guys, for helping build the community. I want to thank you, Eric, for having me on your show. I appreciate Buffalo Fireside and every time you've come into spaces. And Schito, thanks for working with me, man. It always is a pleasure, and it will be for years to come, I hope. And Wizard, it's a pleasure meeting you.
Nice to meet you too. It's nice to expand the crowd of people who are into penny stocks. Believe it or not, it's been thin. It's been very lonely here. So to get a group together like this is exciting. Heck yeah, play that celebrating music.
It's an alarm. I got to put the girls to bed.
All right, Schito, thoughts?
Yeah, I just want to say thanks to BFC, to Eric, BFC Nation. It's as the other guys already said. As an OTC trader, it's getting lonely. It's just so great to see, a group of people still talking about stuff, even if maybe stocks are down right now. I think we can turn around the OTC at some point. At some point, people will come back big time. I hope and think we get some help from the macroeconomics, maybe some rate decreases and stuff like that. And then it's super important that we have groups like you guys. JRC, the same with his spaces and stuff. It's just a good thing. Stock Wizard, thanks for the videos and everything. I enjoy anybody who puts in the effort, So that's great.
Stocks Wizard, there you go.
Thank you, Eric, for having me on. I've really enjoyed this. Talking about penny stocks is fun, especially when you get answers from the people you're talking to. Making videos can be pretty lonely and very time consuming. And for those of you that do watch my videos, I love your comments. I love all the comments you give me about what I'm doing, but I got to let you know I'm getting so many requests now, and I'm not even popular yet. I'm getting 200, 500 views per video, but I'm getting like 10 requests a day to look at videos. So if I'm not looking at your ticker, it's nothing personal. I'm getting overwhelmed. I can only look at so many. So I do believe the OTC market will be back, folks. We've got catalysts coming out the wazoo between AI, lots and lots of startup companies there. Cannabis is going to be taken off sooner or later, and it has a lot of companies on the OTC which can generate it. So don't be giving up on the OTC market yet. We're trying to build a community here for you. All of us are getting together because we realize we need a community. We got Bloomberg on TV talking about the major exchange. We got anybody on TV talking about OTC? Heck no. So we've got to lift ourselves up. I'm glad to be a part of the community, and I'm glad to meet you guys too. Hope we get to work together more often in the future.
Yeah, right on. We're going to definitely do this again. This was great. Looking forward to watching all your content, being part of your communities as well. You guys have an awesome night. I want to give a shout out to everybody that's watching right now, everybody that's been active in the chat. You guys are awesome, and we're so happy to have you a part of our community. Yes, fist bump to every single one of you. A shout out to every single one of you guys. This has been absolutely fun. I'm going to see you guys here live tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Thursday, 5 p.m. EDT. Yes, JRC, he's checking me. He's checking me. He's like, yo, dude, get your own.
So you watch me at 4, and then you jump over to BFC at 5. Man, just keep
That's
the
right.
ball
This
rolling.
is the lineup, baby. This is it. So 5 p.m. EDT Thursday, where it's going down with Eyeless International, Nick Link, and JP. Thank you to my guests. Thank you to every single one of you guys. This has been absolutely phenomenal. That's all we got. And remember, guys, there's more that binds us than breaks us. Peace
Amen.
out.
See you guys.